Do you ever go to take your pre-workout and get met with unwanted side effects such as feeling itchy or hot, or also feeling like an addict going through substance withdrawal? Well, this is because of an F tier supplement called beta-alanine. If you want to know more about beta-alanine and its effects and why you shouldn't take it or waste your money on it ever again, then you should watch this video where I'm going to do a dissection of why it's a bad supplement. If you look at this through the perspective of a pre-workout company, their goal as a business is to make as much money as possible and to convince a consumer like yourself that their product is actually doing something is not going to be through performance enhancement. It is actually going to be from making you feel something. If you feel like you have really itchy skin and you want to scratch every orifice on your body, that is going to convince you that your supplement is actually done something to you. Even if it isn't the desired effect, if you feel something, you are going to trust the product more. Some people obviously won't like this itchy feeling and won't take it, but for the people who are actually seeking performance enhancement, they are going to feel this itchiness and they are going to trust the product because they are feeling somewhat of an effect. You can't feel performance enhancement. It is not a measurable feeling, but having itchy skin does. What makes beta-alanine a bad supplement? Well, frankly, it's a lot of things. But first of all, it's under-researched. So the evidence that we do have, we cannot say with great confidence that it has a performance-enhancing effect. There is some evidence to suggest it does, that's correct, but the evidence base is very little. Second of all, it's overstated in its effect as a supplement. The evidence base we do have to suggest beta-alanine's effect says that there is a small and non-significant improvement to exercise performance when supplemented with beta-alanine in the correct way. This brings me on to my third point. Beta-alanine's performance-enhancing effects aren't seen with a one-time dose. They are seen when the supplement is loaded over a period of time. This describes the administration of a supplement every day for an extended period of time until the target cell or the target tissue has been loaded with the supplement. Therefore, when companies are selling you pre-workouts or beta-alanine as a separate product, it is not performance enhancing when you take it in just the one dose. You may feel the side effects like itching, but you will not see a performance enhancing effect until you have loaded beta-alanine for a set dose over a period of time. This brings me on to my fourth point, the cost. The evidence we do have says that you have to take 6.4 grams for a period of up to 28 weeks to fully saturate your stores of beta-alanine in the target tissue or cell. So if you're taking this for, well, every day for 28 weeks in a quantity of 6.4 grams, it's going to be extremely costly. And is it going to be worth the small and non-significant performance enhancing effect that is shown with the best evidence we have? If you put this into perspective, to fully saturate your beta-alanine stores, you'd have to consume 1.1 kilos of beta-alanine. That's if you take 6.4 grams over a total of 24 weeks. You'd have to take 1.1 kilograms in that time. If you extrapolate this from Amazon's bestseller, it would cost you £22 just to fully saturate your stores of beta-alanine. And then obviously, is it worth the effect? So considering this giant plethora of evidence we have to show why it's a bad supplement, is it worth taking? So analysing beta-alanine. Let's say you did everything correctly. You did it perfectly even. You took an evidence-based dose of 6.4 grams and you took it every day for a period of 24 weeks. What would that look like? Well, we've said a small and non-significant effect this entire video, but that's probably like at most, non-significant means it isn't a significant change for you to even consider it as a part of your performance enhancement. So at most, it's going to be 1 to 2%, and that's just giving it more than it's due. And let's say you have the money and the time as well. Let's say you were okay with wasting half of your year loading a supplement only for the potentiality of that it will have a 1 to 2% effect on you. And you're okay with having itchy faces, itchy crevices for that entire period of time. And it only gets worse over time. Maybe you'll get used to it, I don't know, because I would never do that personally. So let's say you've done it perfectly. You have loads of side effects, you have a lot of itchiness, you're £22 short, and you have to continue supplementing with it and continue having these itches to continue reaping these potential benefits. That is in an ideal situation. But what is the scam? How are these companies getting you? Because I'm telling you this now, that is not what 99% of the people who are supplementing with beta-alanine are actually doing. I'll give you a realistic insight into what's actually in your pre-workout formulations. It's going to be typically 1 to 2 grams per scoop. And yes, they may say that, oh, you should take 2 scoops. Even if you're double scooping your pre-workout, it's going to be 2 to 4 grams, which already is massively underdosed. So even if you were to take your pre-workout double scooped every day for 24 weeks, first of all, it would be insanely costly. Second of all, you're not going to get saturated because it's underdosed. And there isn't even an argument to say, oh, maybe the one-time dose is going to have some little effect. No, because the best evidence we do have says there is a non-significant effect, even at the best forms of the supplementation. Even when we are loading it in an evidence-based dose, when we are having it at 6.4 grams for 24 weeks, we might get 1 or 2%. We might, but you're having it in 2 to 4 grams in a one-time dose. So you're having probably 0.01% of what's actually needed to have a performance-enhancing effect. So the addition of beta-alanine in pre-workouts is actually a masterful scam from supplement companies. And it relies on you just wanting a tiny bit of energy, a tiny bit of performance enhancement in your workouts. And these companies come along and they'll put a tiny dust, an underdosed bit of beta-alanine into your pre-workout, and you take it and you think, whoa, I feel something. I feel the supplement working. And no, that's not the supplement. That is a side effect from the supplement which doesn't work. And now they've got you. You're convinced that the pre-workout actually does something, and it doesn't, because for a very cheap price, the company has come along, put a tiny amount in for very little money. They've convinced you that their terrible pre-workout is actually worth taking. They benefit everything because they add a tiny amount of a supplement that doesn't work, and now you want to keep buying it because you believe it does something. And we all have busy lives. We need that extra bit of pep sometimes, and pre-workout is great for that if it actually worked, but it doesn't. And these pre-workout companies are just going to, they love beta-alanine because it does this so well. It convinces the naive consumer that their product is actually worth taking. From this video, I hope you've gotten some insight about how the supplement industry is scamming you, and this is just one of the instances. But this is a good example to keep you aware of how you could be getting scammed in the future, and how they can convince you of effects that just aren't there. And hopefully you just know about beta-alanine in general, and maybe I've changed your opinion, maybe I've not. But hopefully I've taught you a few things, and if you want to check me out, I'm on Instagram, where hopefully I'll be posting soon. But I think that's everything. So you've just been dosed.